Nestled in the valley of Tlacolula in the Mexican state of Oaxaca lies the archaeological site of Mitla. Known for its beauty and the intricacy of its precisely cut and polished stonework, Mitla is regarded as a one-of-a-kind in Mexico. However, it's also one of the few sites in Mesoamerica where its original builders cut and meticulously worked megalithic blocks of stone, leaving behind an architectural masterpiece that can be compared with the temples of Egypt and Peru. Join me in this video as we explore the megalithic and mysterious past of the Mexican state of Oaxaca and attempt to combine archaeological evidence with surviving legends to unravel the mystery. The origins of Mitla, a site that's yet to give up all its secrets. The Valleys of Oaxaca are some of the oldest continuously inhabited regions in the Americas. Evidence implies early humans arrived in the area over 10,000 years ago. This part of Mexico would eventually see the rise of one of the first civilizations in Mesoamerica, a people known today as the Zapotecas or the Beniza. The Zapotecas likely started out as a group of loosely associated farmers in the Oaxacan valleys who eventually unified themselves into a political entity. They would go on to found their famous capital Monte Alban around 500 BCE, and it would serve as their main regional centre for almost 1500 years. While Monte Alban is undoubtedly an impressive sight, just 50 kilometres east of its step pyramids and stone structures lies Mitla, one of the most fascinating sites of the ancient world. The origins of Mitla are shrouded in mystery. Dating performed at some of the structures suggests it was in use between the 9th and the 12th century CE. However, various parts of the site are likely much older, as Mitla itself was rebuilt on several occasions. Archaeologists have suggested the indigenous Zapotecas were the original builders of Mitla, yet there is little evidence to suggest this, and it's become more of a convenience than anything else. The valleys of Oaxaca have witnessed profound cultural transitions over the centuries, from the indigenous Zapoteca to the Mixtecs and finally the Aztecs. By the time the Spanish arrived, Mitla had passed through the hands of each of these cultures before being abandoned. Megalithic and mortarless construction, Mitla's enigmatic stonework. Mitla is a remarkable site and truly one of a kind in Mesoamerica. It's famous for its intricately carved stonework, which beautifully adorn the various structures at the site. To a lesser degree, people flock to this region to admire its megalithic architecture, which utilizes enormous blocks of basalt to construct various doorways and walls. Megalithic architecture is extremely rare in Mesoamerica, and few examples employ techniques of this nature quite like Mitla. Many large lintels sit perched atop doorways and weigh up to 6 tons. The best preserved examples are found at the Central Palace. Some of the monolithic lintels employed here measure as much as 6 meters long and have an estimated weight in excess of 30 tons. To put that into perspective, it's equivalent to 4 or 5 fully grown male African elephants. What makes it even more interesting is that the blocks of very hard basalt were sourced from a quarry that's located over 6 miles away in a different valley. While the site's megalithic aspects are truly impressive and unique, the level of craftsmanship employed at the site is equally alluring. Portions of the inner walls are covered in intricate stone mosaics made up of individual tiles that were meticulously cut and polished before being placed into the walls to form elaborate geometric stone patterns. No site outside of the Valley of Tlacolula has this kind of stone workmanship. Smaller blocks of stone make up the vast majority of the site, yet even these have been precisely cut to ensure they sit together without the use of mortar. These blocks were carefully positioned together with joints so tight that a single sheet of paper could not fit between them. The advanced level of masonry witnessed at Mitla, including precise cuts, highly polished stonework, and tight-fitting joints, is a testament to the capabilities of these ancient builders. The craftsmanship is widely considered some of the finest in all of Mesoamerica, and it's comparable to the most exceptional examples found in places such as Egypt and Peru. One final fascinating aspect of the site's masonry are the large columns, or what I refer to as the standing stones, carefully cut and shaped from andesite into uniform pillars. Dozens of these standing stones are found throughout the site. Some weigh up to 15 tons and stand nearly 5 meters tall. Researchers are uncertain about their original function. Were they merely there to hold up a roof, or could they, like the standing stones in places such as Western Europe, have a spiritual or sacred meaning behind them? As of yet, it remains one of the many mysteries surrounding the site. What lies beneath the surface? Oaxaca's subterranean world. Mitla's awe-inspiring architecture is just the beginning of its allure. Legends of a sprawling network of underground tunnels and chambers deep beneath the site have been circulating since colonial times. The name Mitla derives from the Aztec word Mictlan, meaning the place of the dead or the underworld, and greatly adds to the site's enigma. The Zapoteca, on the other hand, named the site Lioba, which translates to place of rest. Close to Mitla's central palace is an unusual rock-cut hole in the ground, guarded by a small gate. Through this small opening lies one entrance to what the ancient peoples of the area referred to as the Underworld. First, you are met with two small chambers that were once open to the public but have been since closed off for numerous reasons, including visitors breaking off small portions of the walls as souvenirs. However, according to early Spanish chroniclers, there are also several hidden passageways that lead to an extensive network of underground tunnels. Little is known about this subterranean labyrinth, as it appears to have been closed off during the Spanish colonial era, but just a short distance away in the small village of Shaga lies a unique subterranean tomb which can be visited. The unique structure lies buried beneath a ruined 16th century home. Unlike the stone mosaics in the palaces at Mitla, which consist of hundreds of small stone tiles, the mosaics and panels in the underground chambers at Shaga are carved directly into the monolithic blocks. As we walk through the small subterranean chamber at Shaga, we are once again met with some of the best masonry in Mesoamerica. The walls are made of large basalt blocks cut to equal sizes and each finished to a fine polish. Again, many of the blocks fit so tightly that a human hair would struggle to fit between the joints. The underground chamber of Shaga may be a miniature representation of the extensive tunnels and chambers that lie beneath Mitla. Speaking with my local guide, he explained that a small hole found within the underground structure leads to a subterranean tunnel that takes one right to the site of Mitla. If in fact true, it would then suggest that an underground tunnel connects these two sites, which would span a distance of 3.5 miles. The unique attributes of construction found in the Valley of Tlacolula give the impression that we may be missing a significant portion of Oaxaca's history. But if the eccentric subterranean structures of Mitla and Shaga aren't enough to steer you towards this idea, maybe a hidden megalithic temple in the nearby hills will be enough to persuade you. So stay tuned for part 2 where we explore the once lost cruciforma.